Hey guys, got chapter 13 from Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's library. What happened next was extremely cool. A holographic image of a second librarian appeared beside Dr. Zinchenko at the center desk. She looked a little like Princess Leia being beamed out of R2-D2 in Star Wars, except she had an old-fashioned bubble-top hairdo, cat's eye glasses, and a tweed jacket with patches on the elbows. Here to present our official library lock-in rules, said Dr. Zinchenko, is Mrs. Gail Tobin, head librarian of Alexandriaville Public Library back in the 1960s, when Mr. Lemoncello was your age. Overhead, the Wonder Dome had shifted back to its 10 Dewey Decimal displays. How old is she? Asked Sean Keegan. She'd be 110 if she were alive. But she's dead and working here? Let's just say her spirit lives on in this hologram. Mrs. Tobin's the one who helped Mr. Lemoncello so much, Kyle whispered to Akimi when he was a kid. I know, her hair looks like a beehive. Kyle shrugged. From what I've seen on TV, the 1960s were generally weird. Welcome, children, to the Library of the Future, said the flickering projection. Dr. Zinchenko will now pass out Lemoncello Library floor plans. Your map and guide to all that this extraordinary building has to offer. Your new library cards will grant you access to all the rooms except the Master Control Center, the red door you passed on your way in, and of course, Mr. Lemoncello's private suite on the third floor. Charles Chiltington dangled his golden key in front of his face. I believe you need this to enter that. Mrs. Tobin ignored him. She was a hologram. That made it easier. Security personnel are on duty 24 hours a day, she continued. During your stay, all of your actions will be recorded by video cameras, as outlined in the consent agreements you and your parents signed earlier. Are we going to be on a reality TV show? Asked Haley, smiling up at a tiny camera with a blinking red light. It's a distinct possibility, said Dr. Zinchenko. I like television, said the ghostly image of Mrs. Tobin. Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In is my favorite program. Returning to the rules, the use of personal electronic devices is strictly prohibited at all times during the lock-in. The security guard, Clarence, and a guy who looked like his identical twin brother entered the rotunda, each of them carrying an aluminum attaché case. Kindly deposit all cell phones, iPods, and iPads in the receptacles provided by our security guards. Clarence and Clement, your devices will be safely stored for the duration of your stay and will be returned to you at the conclusion of our activities. Also, you may use the desktop pad computers in this room to comb through our card catalogs and conduct internet research. However, these devices cannot send or receive email or text messages, whatever those might be. Remember, I retired in 1973. We still used carbon paper. And now, Dr. Zinchenko will walk you through the floor plan. Everyone unfolded their map pamphlets. As you can see, said Dr. Zinchenko, fiction titles are located here in the reading room. The children's enrichment room with soundproof walls is over there. 2 fully equipped community meeting rooms, as well as the Book Nook Cafe, behind those windows where the curtains are drawn, are also located on this floor. Upstairs, on 2, you will find 10 numbered doors, each leading into a chamber filled with books, information, and, displays related to its corresponding Dewey Decimal category. Kyle raised his hand. Yes. Where's the Electronic Learning Center? Dr. Zinchenko grinned. Upstairs on the 3rd floor, where you will also find the boardroom, the Art and Artifacts room, the IMAX theater, the Lemoncello Abilia room, the... Can we go upstairs and play? Asked Bridget Wage. I want to try out the space shuttle simulator. I want to learn how to drive a car, said Sean Keegan, a race car. I want to conquer the world with Alexander the Great, said Yasmin Smith-Snyder. Apparently, everyone was doing what Kyle had already done, checking out the available educational gameware listed on the back of the floor plan. Early access to the Electronic Learning Center will be tonight's second prize, said Dr. Zinchenko. To win it, you must use the library's resources to find dessert, which we have hidden somewhere in this building. Whoever does the research and locates the goodies first will also be the first one allowed into the electronic learning center. So use your wits and use your library. Go find dessert. Everyone raced around the room and sat down at separate desks to start tapping on the glass computer pads. Well, everyone except Sierra Russell. She spent like 2 seconds swiping her fingers across the screen, wrote something down with a stubby pencil on a slip of paper, then wandered off to inspect the 3-story tall curved bookcases lining the walls at the back half of the rotunda. Kyle watched as she stepped onto a slightly elevated platform with handles like you'd see on your grandmother's walker. It even had a basket attached to the front. Dr. Zinchenko? Yes, Miss Russell? Is this safe? Because the book I want is all the way up at the top. Yes, just make sure your feet are securely locked in. Sierra wiggled her leg, and Kyle heard a metallic snap. It's like a ski boot, said Sierra. That's right. Now use the keypad to tell the hover ladder the call number for the book you're interested in, and hang on tight. Sierra consulted the slip of paper and tapped some keys. The bottom of the platform you're standing on is a magnet, said Dr. Zinchenko. The ribbons of electromagnetic material in the lining of the bookcases. The strength of those magnets will be modulated by our maglev computer based on the call number you input. 2 seconds later, Sierra Russell was floating in the air, drifting up and to the left. It was absolutely awesome. The hover ladder must use advanced magnetic levitation technology, said McGill, seated at the desk next to Kyle's right, just like the maglev bullet trains in Japan. Cool, mumbled Kyle. And for the first time in his life, Kyle Keeley wanted to check out a library book more than anything in the world.